Dear friends, as you know already that my name is Dr. Abu Abdullah. As you know that I have started a new series of lectures in systems of Islamic civilization. Which Islamic civilization, which is forgotten nowadays. So we no more remember that what was the Islamic civilization. A lot of people, thinkers, writers, they both wrote the books on these topics and they gave the systems to the world of that time. So this is what I want is that to remembrance of those activities, those books, those systems which was prevailed in Islamic civilization of that time, golden era, golden period of Muslims. So today's the lecture is about guidelines for teacher and learners. So this is detailed treatise on matters concerning learners and guidance for the teachers and learners. This was written by an author whose full name was Abu Hassan Ali bin Muhammad al-Kabisi. Al-Kabisi is his lakab or whatever you can say that. So this author, Abul Kabisi, was born in Karaman, Tunisia, Tunisia on May 936 AD. So he was the person who worked on this and wrote this book. His family originally belonged to Kabis. So as such he became more widely known as Al-Kabisi, but also referred to, or even since he was born and brought up in Karaman. He completed his studies under eminent teachers of Karaman, which was then an important educational center. Thereafter, as a mature scholar of 28, he traveled to Muslim East, which we call Mediterranean region, and performed pilgrim in 353 after Hijrah, and engaged himself in advanced studies in Hadith under the renowned teacher in Makkah Mukarramah and Secondria in Egypt. He was back in Karawan in 357 after Hijrah, where he took to the teaching profession. A large number of pupils, students who studied under him became eminent scholars of their time. He died on 1012 AD. He was a man of good faith and piety, devoted to prayers, friendly to all, and help to needy and poor. In his biographic notices, Kabisi has been mentioned as being the foremost in different sciences and excelling particularly in the science of Hadith. He authored a number of books, at least 13 or 14, of which at least 9 or 10 are more certainly to have been composed by him on different subjects such as Hadith, Fiqh, correct belief, education, and pilgrimage. By vocation, Kabisi was essentially a teacher who taught for about 5 decades and gained insights and understanding into the process of teaching and learning, as also into the needs and requirements of the students and teachers. Besides, the tradition of pedagogy and professional education had already been established in West Muslims a century earlier under the leadership of Malikite jurist Abdus Salam. His son Muhammad, who died in 256 after Hijrah, wrote a treatise on responsibility of teachers, which gave an impetus to further development in the field of pedagogy. Kapsi wrote the detailed treatise on matters concerning learners and guidelines for the teachers and learners, in which he placed special emphasis on childhood education. The main educational objective being to enable the pupil to develop as a good Muslims in belief and in action. The entire text and the ideas involved are presented in question answers form. As an accomplished teacher, Al-Kabisi used to emphasize that questions be raised by the students. He would cite the example of great teacher Abu Abbas, who during his lectures used to analyze the issues involved, threadbare, who preferred student-teacher discussion in order to advance, acknowledge, and who would always say, relieve us from mere listening, come up with the problem solving. Kabisi's work, we can divide it into three parts as unders. Number one, part one, introduction, explanation as to what is Imam, Islam, Ahsan, what is Istiqama, and what is definition of Salah, excellence of Quran, and the formalities to be observed in its learning. Part 2, teaching of Quran and the parents' responsibilities, instructing in poetry, calligraphy, grammar, recitation, memorization, the teacher. Teachers' conduct, importance of teachers' personal attitude to pupil, the different aspects of capital punishment and being lenient to pupil, maintaining justice and equality between pupils and looking after their welfare, preventing them from hurting each other, Friday and other holidays. Third part, the teacher and his responsibilities, gifts for teachers, full-time attention to teaching, teachers' illness, cooperative teaching by the teachers, etc., etc. Thus, besides his other advanced views, Kabisi was the inventor of the concept and the practice of cooperative teaching by the teachers, which have been realized only in some of the modern education system in 20th century. So my friend, this was another lecture about the Islamic civilization, about teachers' conduct, their responsibility, their attitudes, and the cooperative teaching. Keep on watching my channel, Dr. Abu Abdullah.